You see, detachment isn't really about denying what your desires. It's really about focusing on a finite thing. Meaning, when you are deeply attached, what you don't notice is that your attention goes in multiple directions. You're first thinking of this, and then you're thinking of a car, and then you're thinking of food, and then you're thinking of whatever, and then you're thinking of this, and then you're angry. And so your attention goes in multiple directions. And that is, and that like scattered attention creates unnecessary attachments. The reason why is because moving your mind in multiple directions every time is very taxing. For example, you know how they say miles per hour, right? Where if you have a car, they'll tell you that it gets 35 miles per hour, but that only means in the highway. Why? Because when you're in a city, you're stopping and then going again. And the stopping and going actually wastes a lot of gas, right? So what you want to be able to do in order to be more conservative and conserve more gas, you want to be able to be in a road where you don't stop that much. The stopping in this is always going from one thing to another, and distractions, right? You're walking and there's an accident. You're walking and then you think of your family members betraying you. You're walking and then you're thinking of this. You're walking and then you're thinking of the future, and this is so taxing on the body that your brain then begins to cling on to certain thoughts, cling on to certain things in order to find some stability. But what you don't notice is that that's the function of the mind. The mind is always trying to create connections, going here, going there. And this goes against the principle called the steady eye principle. What's the steady eye principle? The steady eye principle in sports is that the most accurate shooters, for example, with basketball, their attention is always in one area. The people who shoot a basketball and miss a lot, before they shoot, they're looking here, they're looking here, they're looking here, and when they shoot the ball, they don't keep looking at the rim. They actually look at the ball as it's going in. In other words, they're trying to hit this target, but because they're so distracted, when they shoot the ball, they look at everything but this target, or they hit the target, but only look at it for a short amount of time. Studies show that the most accurate shooters keep their eyes steady. In fact, I play basketball and I actually started doing that. And when I shoot, before I shoot, I look at here. After I shoot, I look at here for 30 seconds. And I swear to God, my accuracy increased like a motherfucker. So how does this apply to this? Well, in order to detach, you have to keep your attention in one space. Doesn't matter what's happening. Doesn't matter if there's a defender trying to block you. You keep your eye in one space. And with this, it's all about bringing your attention and keeping your attention here. No matter what's happening, you keep your attention here. And this is signaling to the body that this is the most important thing. And it actually breaks down like fermenting fiber. It breaks down like putting food in acid. It'll break it down at a cellular level. So that means that, for example, they told Buddhist meditators, hey, how do you, no, they didn't tell them, they told them to walk around in the city, right? And they actually measured their brain state. They were in theta state. Theta state is a state right before sleep. It's so relaxed that nothing bothers you. It's like the relaxation of the mind. And they looked at Buddhist meditators, they walked around in the city and then came back and they measured their state. They were still in theta state. No matter what happened, nothing took away their attention from here. It's very similar. They had a steady eye, but their steady eye was here. No matter what happens, if there's an explosion, you don't look at the explosion and then notice the breath. No, you feel the breath and then you observe the explosion. You hear me talk and then you feel your breath and then you hear me talk. You feel your breath and then you eat. You feel your breath and then you hear. What you're doing is that you are not reacting to the content, meaning when something happens, you react. No, now it's something happens, you breathe, and then you act. There's no reaction. What you don't understand is that reaction reinforces mental habits. So that means if you're gonna smoke a cigarette, before you smoke a cigarette, bring awareness to the breath. And as you're smoking a cigarette, keep awareness to the breath. What you're doing is that you actually are smoking, but you're not reinforcing it. And a lot of people have stopped addictions by just keeping the awareness here no matter what's happening. It's called the steady eye. But the steady eye here is your attention, right? So no, so if you're talking to someone and you're very attached to them, just keep awareness on the breath. No matter how much they're trying to trigger you, no matter the argument, you don't react. Breathe, notice, and then act, right? You're creating a space between reaction, sensation. You're creating space where before there was no space. And this space is what? The breath. You're aware of the breath. And then you filter it, and then you don't even react. You act. So you have right action. And the problem is that some people's sensation of the breath is so subtle that they don't notice it. So if something happens, yeah, they're gonna get distracted because their capacity to notice the sensations of the breath are so subtle that they don't notice it. So what you gotta do is literally practice. Keep practicing feeling the breath, and the sensation of the breath intensifies to such a degree that it's actually something that you prefer to feel over everything. It's like pain, right? Some pain, there comes a threshold where the pain is so overwhelming that it takes up all of your attention. The breath can be you could create such an intense sensation in the breath that it becomes easy to focus on it. So you do that to just sitting down, meditating, feeling the breath, feeling the breath, feeling the breath, feeling the breath. And then as you move up within the world, as you're moving around, you keep awareness here, and then you act. You breathe, and then you see. You breathe, and then you smell. You breathe, and then you taste. You breathe, and then you talk. Like you're creating a filtering system so that there is no reaction to this, but rather you feel this, and then you act. This process stops reinforcing mental habits, and it breaks down any unnecessary attachments to the past. Y'all might hear this, and you guys might think it's hocus pocus. Let me tell you something. This shit works. This is how the Buddha became enlightened. This is how therapists actually help people who have panic attacks. When you're panicking, you're reacting to a mental formation. Oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. So what they tell you is notice your environment. Notice what's here, what's there. Feel your hand. Feel this. You're bringing awareness to sensation. You're not reacting to mind. You're reacting to sensation. When you react to sensation, it filters. It's like a filtering system, right? It's like you filter everything through this to make it nice and whole, right? You filter everything through this filtering system. And this filtering system is what? Sensation, right? This filtering system is called sensation. And so everything that goes through sensation becomes purified. And that purification is literally the breaking down of attachment, right? It's truly a powerful thing. So and the more you strengthen this, the less shakable you are. It's very difficult to scare you. For example, if you're walking and you're aware of the breath, somebody scares you, you don't react. Oh, you're walking, you're breathing, somebody pops up, you bring awareness to the breath. Like that's like the first thing that happens. Boom, awareness to the breath. And then you react. Not react, you act. Because you already reacted. Your reaction was to bring awareness to the breath. And look, people, like honestly, some of y'all might hear this, y'all might think it's too hocus pocus. I get it. But this is actually something that works. This is something that do it in your lives, and you'll see that you have so much peace literally emanating from you. Because when you stop adding to the reactions, because what you're doing is that everyone has a certain amount of reaction in their bodies, right? Some people have more than others. Older people have more. And it's always being burnt up. But the burning process can be painful. And so people might feel those reactions burning away, but because it's painful, they then start to find other ways to not feel that pain. So they add more, they make it bigger and bigger by reacting to it. So if you stop reacting, over time it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until there's barely any reactions left. So you filter it through the body. And this is how anybody can come across more confident, more relaxed, and they actually just develop more charisma. It's truly a powerful thing, all right? So it's the steady eye. When you do things, keep awareness in a finite point. And that finite point is the breath. Now, as you get better at it, you might want to expand that sensation and bring awareness to the whole body, but that's for a whole nother day. But you start here. liberation starts in the breath. All right? Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys enjoyed this, check out my course, Emotional Mastery. I talk about how to do this in your life. It's a 6-week course that teaches you exactly what we're doing here, okay? Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.